And of course, Dr. Madu, the information that you've given so far is just, in a real sense, mind-boggling. You know, to even suggest that the government itself is a drug cartel in Africa. I mean, it seems to be so far beyond almost belief. But go on, continue our discussion in reference to this.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you know, here you have two countries, you know, that could have been heaven anywhere else on any other continent. For example, Guinea. Guinea is has the largest, you know, bauxite deposits in the entire planet. And you know, bauxite is the ore for aluminium. Exactly. And yet, almost 60% of the people are jobless. Okay? Almost 60% of the people are jobless. Okay? Running water is a luxury. Electricity is a luxury in a country that has so much water. What is the government doing? If the government is busy, the government officials are busy, you know, trying to run drugs and protect their own interests. They are not busy running the government to take care of the little person. They could care less, and that's part of the problem. Oh yeah, people say, well, you know, Africa is poor. Africans are poor. No, really, Africa is not poor. Okay, Africa is not poor. It's just that the place is completely mismanaged because of what we just discussed now. Okay, that bauxite deposit in Guinea is enough to make the place a heaven for everybody. It's enough to make the place very rich. But yet...
And they got the labor to exploit it.
They have the labor to exploit it. That the government has not seen it fit to exploit it to its fullest for the benefit of its own people. And even when they come to exploit it, it would still not be for the benefit of the people. The same with Bissau. Even though Bissau's main cash crop happens to be cashew nuts, but there's enough agricultural land and water for everybody to be, you know, to be happy. Okay? It's enough, they have enough seas to fish, they have enough land for agricultural production and all that. But yet, electricity, water is a luxury. Now, how can the government do anything for the people when they are busy trying to control and sell these drugs and run the country at the same time? Both of them cannot work that way. It does not work that way. And that's part of the problem. Okay? So these drug barons have seen these institutional weaknesses and say, hey, let's go over there. You know, since the DEA is on our backs in Jamaica and then, you know, other places in Trinidad and in Latin America, hey, you know, and the Europeans want these drugs now. Come on, let's go over there. Since the government is acquiescing to this, it's better for us to shift. That's the reason why they said, okay, now let's go over to west coast of Africa. So when we ship the drugs over there, we are quiescent government officials. We don't have to worry about somebody searching those things at the airport, at the seaport. We can just land there, pay the government their own money, the officials, put it in government diplomatic pouches. And you know, because it's a diplomatic pouch, it cannot be searched at the airport because of diplomatic immunity. Okay? Take it to Europe. And that's exactly the reason. If the governments weren't cooperative with them, it would not have been that way. That was exactly why the United Nations designated Guinea-Bissau as the first narcotic state, because the institutions of government were involved in it themselves, clearly involved in it themselves. When General Vieira was assassinated, not one head of state attended his funeral, not one. From Africa.
Yeah, everybody knows in Africa exactly
because they knew exactly they knew exactly what the deal was, that this assassination was not just a regular you know, political quarrel.
Two enemies.
Exactly. It's not just because between two enemies.
Control of a cartel.
That's correct. It's for a control of a cartel in the real sense. Okay? When his prime minister said it, you know, the president himself, you know, is a drug dealer, then he knows better. Who knows about the government more than the prime minister himself? Okay? Yeah. You see? And that's been the problem. That was why the United Nations made that designation, the first narco state in the world. Okay? Because that's what's happening. Fishermen in Bissau, when they are fishing, they're always finding stacks and stacks of bales of cocaine in the river. And they don't know what it is. So a lot of them take it home and use it as powder. Yeah, exactly. Thinking that's correct. Thinking that's what it is. Okay?
And
Yeah.
so it's so plentiful that they just land it almost anywhere, drop it almost everywhere.
Absolutely. A lot of them, you know, fall into the sea and all these fishermen see it. They pick it up and they don't know what it is. And they take it home and thinking it's powder. Because they've never seen that kind of thing before, you see. Now all the islands around, you know, Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, you know, Las Palmas, Mallorca, all these little islands have become drug havens, you see. Now from what I've heard from diplomatic sources, you know, mansions are springing up everywhere in Bissau, you know, shiny, you know, SUVs everywhere. But yet, the average person in Bissau don't even earn $50 a year. You wonder where is all the money coming from? Not from the government anyway, because most people hardly get paid in Bissau to begin with. The government never pays its civil servants, you know, in those places. They always complain of shortage of money because they're always embezzling the money themselves. Now the problem is these little states, at Sierra Leone that just finished, that just, you know, came out of a civil war. Even though the government is not acquiescent to it, but because of the poverty, you know, existing in that country now, or even Liberia, those places are also susceptible to the drug cartel.
Same kind of influence.
Absolutely, because
see it being happening over here, then they say, why not?
Absolutely. Even though the two governments in Liberia and Sierra Leone are not acquiescent, but still, you know, those surrounding them are not
influence
exactly will, you know, be subjected to the influence of this cartel. And that's the danger. That's the danger. That eventually
you're going to have all...
Exactly. These drug barons will control all that west coast of Africa. And what will you see? Africans start slaughtering each other over control of cocaine.
That's right.
That would be another tragedy, you know, on top of what has happened before. You see, that's what people are worried about. We talk of narco-terrorism. Yeah, we're going to see what you call a real narco-terrorism on the west coast of Africa. Because when they start fighting over who control the access and the money and all this, then, you know, Africans will start slaughtering each other en masse. It wouldn't be tribal warfare, it would be warfare over cocaine. And you know how deadly it is. And now think about it. Some of these governments that get trapped with these drug barons, when they decide to say, hey, we don't want to be part of it anymore, what happens? What happens? Okay. The drug barons will strike back.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's what's happening in Mexico now.
That's correct. What's happening in Mexico, exactly. Okay, yeah, the drug barons will strike back. Okay, and since these drug barons have more money than even the national budget of those countries, they can take over those countries themselves.
Speak to that.
And install whoever they want.
It's almost mind-boggling to think in terms of
that's the problem. The drug cartels have more money than those countries, their own budgets. Okay, what is the budget of Guinea-Bissau? It's not even up to the budget to operate metro schools. Okay, what is the budget of Guinea? It's not even up to the budget of the city of Nashville. And the drug barons have more money than that. So they can take over those countries and install whomever they want as president, and then, you know, do whatever they want.
That's a lot of wealth, a lot of influence, and a lot of...
and that's what's scary about
a lot of evil in a real sense.
That's correct. That's what's scary about the whole thing, the more you think about it. That's what's scary. What prevents them from taking over Guinea-Bissau?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, they can buy their own.
They've got it now.
That's why they already have it now. They can install whomever they want in power with that money. Okay, the army, the money they have, they can buy their own planes and guns and tanks for their own army, small army in Bissau. Keep control of that place. Put somebody as a
president had a 400-man army.
That's correct.
So, you know, anybody can get an army.
That's correct. With that much money
and with the the resources that people have at such a low level, they're about willing to do anything.
That's correct.
In terms of survival.
That's correct. That's correct. And that is what is frightening about the whole thing.
And of course, Dr. Madu, we're going to have to call this show to an end for today, and to thank you for bringing such excellent information by, and recognizing that this is one of the real issues, I think, that we have to deal with and face on the continent of Africa. And what we'll try to do is to have you back a second time to give us some additional information in reference to what is going on the coast of West Africa. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.